Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our October monthly meeting. If we could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for everyone that showed up tonight. I'm going to keep my remarks brief because we have the auditor to make her presentation. I just want to mention that Dr. Siniak and I have been in contact over the past month and trying to get funding. I did contact local, state, and even federal local politicians in the area to see if we can get some more funding for the Camp Avenue playground, as well as we're trying to get alarms on all of the doors on the main levels of all three schools, especially in light of what happened about a month ago, about 2 weeks ago in Wantagh. So we did respond to that, and I'll let Dr. Siniak talk about it. It's a very minimal cost, but I am talking to see if we can get that funded too. I think it's an easy ask. So with that, I will turn over to Dr. Siniak.
Good evening. Welcome to our October Board of Education meeting. We have a lot to celebrate, a lot of great things that have happened already, and it's only the beginning of October. We had a big shout out to our PTAs. We had our back to school picnics at Old Mill and Camp Avenue. We had our movie night at Fayette. Great way to welcome our students back and their parents. Meet the Teacher Night, an annual event, went off very well. Everyone was pleased. A lot of information was given out and a lot of smiling parents. We had our September PTA meetings. It was nice to see a great turnout at all three buildings. So that was, we hope to continue to see that. We had our SEPTA ice cream social. Welcome back ice cream. And that was another wonderful evening here on the blacktop at Fayette. Our students did an amazing job during the evacuation and early dismissal drill most recently. They are definitely very good about safety, and they want to do a really good job, and they're such great listeners. So I know Mr. Merrims was very pleased, and I know Mr. Luca and Dr. Bromberg as well. We had our International Walk to School Day. Thank you again, PTAs, for the chalk, the walk, for the stickers, for the scavenger hunts, and all the great things and activities that our students were able to participate in. Well, looking ahead, what's coming, what's new? As our board president, Ms. Ryan, spoke about door alarms, we're happy to report a little history first. Door alarms at an elementary school are very important. We start with our elopers, our students that are at risk of leaving the building unattended. And those students are identified annually, and I've been here for 8 years, and we've always done that. And those immediate doors are alarmed. We then look at our other doors that seem to be a little risky based on the location of where those doors are, and maybe they're out of sight a little bit, and those doors are also alarmed. Based on what has been going on with safety and security, we did a reassessment of all of our buildings, and we identified the doors that still needed alarms, and all of them have been ordered already. And I know Ms. Marin spoke to me today about 2 that were already installed, additional ones, and we are installing them as we speak, not really as we speak, but currently at all of the buildings, so that all of our doors will be alarmed on our main floors in each of our buildings. And as Ms. Ryan said, the funding for that to reimburse the district hopefully will come through.
What is the estimated cost that we have?
About $7,000 it came out to be.
Minimal, but again, try to get it wherever we can get it. So
Yes.
we're going to try and get it from the government. So
Yes.
about $7,000 for all three schools. And thank you for moving so quickly with that. Okay.
And additionally, in speaking with our principals, they have very strong procedures in place for when children leave their classrooms, whether it be a buddy system, an adult, it depends on the grade, it depends on the class. And each principal that I worked with closely and asked, and we talked about the procedures, they do have procedures in place, and those are reinforced with their faculty. And thank you, faculty, for always making sure that our students do not leave our classrooms unaccompanied, especially in our K1 and 2 grades. And then we do different procedures as they get older. So I believe that with the alarm doors and these procedures that we are in a good place. And thank you again for reaching out for the funding, and we're hopeful.
I just want to mention too, it goes both ways, in and out. So we're
Yes.
talking about students leaving, but also we're talking about, people who are not supposed to be entering also. So I think it's important to mention that too. So it goes
Yes.
both ways.
Safety for both
Safety
ways.
first. Thank
So,
you.
thank you. Tomorrow night, we have our family engagement night from 5:30 to 7. It used to be called Parent University. We've been advertising that it's changed. It's here in Fayette. We are hosting it indoors, not because of the weather, but we didn't realize how quickly it gets dark now. And we don't want the children outside in the darkness, and we don't have any stadium lights out there. So it will be indoors tomorrow at 5:30. Looking forward to that. Trunk or Treat, our North Merrick Faculty Association, the biggest event of the year. That is on October 20th at 4 o'clock. We're doing Arrival a little differently. We're splitting Old Mill Road and Camp Avenue so that we're entering the Fayette Grand Lawn in the back from two different entrances. And the Fayette grades will be split in two so that the line will move faster. Less children are in the front of the building. We want them in the back of the school. We have 4 security guards set up already. So we're really looking forward to a better system, but still a great time. We have our PTA Adventureland event, which is all of our PTAs working together on October 28th. That should be a great night. SEPTA has their pumpkin paint party on October 13th, Spooky Bingo on October 26th, my birthday. I will be there, I promise. I never saw so many kids playing bingo as I did last
In
year.
honor of you.
Yes, in honor of me. The Fayette Playground is almost completed. So excited. It looks amazing, and we can't wait for the grand opening of that. Miss Cadiz started her Nights to Connect this year. We have our second one on October 19th. The irony is it's called Night to Connect, but we want families to disconnect from homework and other things and spend time together. And please send your pictures to Miss Cadiz because she loves to see what families are involved in. Our parent-teacher conferences, I know it sounds crazy, but they're on Election Day, November 7th, and we don't have a board meeting until after that. Those are November 7th from noon to 7 o'clock. Our next PTA meetings are on October 25th. I know Camp Avenue is virtual. Our fall festivals and parades, October 31st. Looking forward to that. And finally, we are going to be transitioning our website. Our website is hosted by a company called Blackboard, which they are pretty much going into extinction. And a company called Frontline took them over. And this is all through Nassau BOCES. What we did was, since Frontline took over the contract of Blackboard, there was no additional cost, and they gave us the support behind the scenes to be able to transition to this new platform. Now, that sounds like a lot for the public. It isn't. You'll still click on North Merrick School District. It'll look different. It'll look much more modern and much more up to date. A lot of what we had to do was behind the scenes, and we felt that transitioning to this new platform in September would be a little much for parents with getting back to school, learning their children's schedules. So we picked a date of November 1st, and it doesn't mean it is a life sentence. If this doesn't work out, although it's costing us the same amount, we could always look for better and more efficient. So looking forward to that transition to our new website on November 1st, and messages will go out about that. And that's all I have.
Great. Thank you. A lot going on.
Yes.
Second month of school. I think we're ready for the auditor's report. Marion, you ready? Okay. Oh, let me get out of the way. Okay. Okay. Can you see that
screen. I don't know, it looks a little dark. Can you see it? Okay, so thank you for inviting me to present the results of the June 30th audit. I have some good news. You received an unmodified opinion, which is the best opinion you can get as a school district. We had no problem giving you that clean opinion. The books were in order. The numbers were all in good shape. We had minimal audit adjustments. So great job on getting the books ready for us. I wanted to thank Tom McDade. His whole team did a great job getting us all the information that we needed to get the audit done in a timely manner. It is a very good business office. They work very well with us, and I appreciate all the work that they do. The next thing we do, in addition to giving you an opinion, is we give you what we call a management letter, and that's where we make suggestions on your internal controls. We look at a lot of different areas. We do a lot of testing, a lot of interviews, and congratulations, you had no findings this year, which is amazing. We do about 45 school districts, and there's about 5 of the 45 that do not have any recommendations. So for a district that you have a small business office, they do a great job segregating the duties and making sure that the controls are in place. You had 1 comment last year, and the year before you had none. So that's a very good track record with regards to your internal controls. So we did note in the audit report that you did implement strong controls. The business office does have excellent financial operations. This is an overview of your general fund, which is what your budget is based on. And so what we did was we did a chart breaking out your prior year numbers compared to your current year numbers. The restricted numbers are the reserves that the district does have for long-term savings for specific purposes. So it's really earmarked for specific expenses down the road. Then you have the assigned category, which represents what you have in your next year's budget for assigned fund balance as well as encumbrances. And then the unassigned fund balance represents your savings account. So that's not earmarked for anything in particular. You're limited to 4% of next year's budget, and you are at that level, which is very important. So you are planning for your short term by keeping that level at that 4% where you should be for any unforeseen expenses, or if there was any shortfalls in revenue. It's really important to be at that level. So that really does show a very strong short-term position. As far as the long-term position, the long-term position is the restricted, which is all your reserves. So this year you were able to actually not only use your reserves, but you were able to replenish your reserves. So you did replenish your retirement system reserves as well as your employee benefit accrued liability reserves to prepare for the future. So this balance sheet really shows you're preparing for short-term needs as well as long-term needs for different specific expenses down the road. You also did fund your capital reserve this year, about $700,000 from last year. So across the board, you did increase the reserves as well as maintain your 4%. So that's a very good strategy as far as financing for your expenses. The next few slides really talk about the other funds. So you have a school lunch fund, which is really where your school lunch operations are recorded. Then you have your debt service fund and your capital projects fund. So school lunch, you did have a loss this year of $43,000. Last year, you did have the free monies come in from the federal government. This year, you did not have the free lunches. So that was the primary reason for the decrease from the prior year. And your capital projects fund, this is where you spend any expenses associated with your capital projects. So right now, you do have $70,000 in projects funded by your capital reserve. And then you have an unassigned deficit of $297,000. That really is for your smart school bond projects. The district is currently waiting for the state to reimburse them. Once they get those monies, that number will increase to the positive. Okay, general fund this year was pretty flat. Last year to this year, it increased $7,545 or 0.12%. I went over that in the other slide where we broke down the different categories. Your unassigned is at the level that you should be, which we talked about. And then the next few bullets really talk about your changes in your reserves. So essentially, we earmark or we allocate interest to all your reserves. And then there was some spending of the reserves as well as replenishing of the reserves. So each of these reserves has, like I said, a specific purpose, and that's what those monies are set aside for. So you have an unemployment reserve, you have a couple of retirement system reserves. Teachers' retirement system was new a few years back. The next slide talks about you have an insurance reserve. That was just a small change of interest this year. Your employee benefit accrued liability reserve is an important reserve because if somebody retires from the district, you use that reserve to pay out your vacation and sick time. So the district has been trying to replenish that reserve to a good level so that you can use the reserve instead of increasing taxes to pay for these payouts. So the district is using that reserve, like I said. They allocated some interest, and then there was some funding of the reserves. And then capital reserves you did fund this year, and that's really for capital work that you can use those reserves so you don't have to go out for bonding and pay interest. A capital reserve is a good way to fund any capital projects that you may have. Okay, we talked about the school food service program and the debt service, capital projects, the state grants you're waiting on, so that's important. So you did get some of them this year, but you still have more money coming for the smart school bonds. And then overall, your financial health, these are some of the things that are important so that you do improve your financial health. And I think the district is trying to move in that direction for the long-term planning as well as maintaining that unassigned fund balance. And these are some of the reasons why you want to do that. So it'll assist when you're setting your tax levy. It'll improve your cash flow. Your credit rating will be improved or at least at a good level. It'll reduce any borrowing costs or interest costs. The interest rates are going up now, so if you did have to go out for borrowing and you did not have a strong financial position, the interest rates would be much higher. Funds, unbudgeted expenses, so if you did have additional expenses, they can say if you had some special education students move into the district that were not in your budget, that would be part of something that you would need a strong financial position to fund that, because if it did not come, it was not foreseen in your budget. If you had any state aid shortfalls or any revenue shortfalls, having that fund balance is important. And bottom line, it preserves the existing programs. You don't want to have to cut programs, so it's important to continually assess your fund balance and your long-term needs, your short-term needs, so that you can preserve those programs for the children. Okay, overall, great report. I wanted to thank everybody for all their help, and I don't know if anybody has any questions.
I just wanted to, I guess, put things in perspective. How are we in relationship with the other districts? You said you do not have, hold on, let me get to the exact. We have an unmodified opinion, no findings, and no recommendation. So
as far as the management letter, I think
Yep.
the controls are really in good shape. I really feel that, like I said, there was only 5 of my 45 districts that did not have comments, so you do a great job.
So we're one of the 5.
You're one of
Excellent. I just wanted to get that on the record. Okay. All right.
Definitely at the top with that. And then just really continuing monitoring your financials, like, what you're doing now as far as replenishing the reserves and preparing for the long term is something I would definitely recommend that you continue doing.
Great. Does the board have any questions? And just so the public's aware, the board did hear this presentation prior, and we did have an opportunity to ask questions at that time. I'm just going to ask the board if we can go out of order, since the auditor, Mary Ann, is still here. If we could do the routine approvals in a second, just if we could do public comment in case anyone has any public comment on the audit, so that way Mary Ann can go home. Any public comment, agenda items only? All right, so if it's all right, all right. Have a good night. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank
And
you,
then I'm going to
Marian.
ask for a motion to approve 4A through 4C, the routine approvals.
Motion.
By Will,
Second.
second by Steve, all in favor. Aye, motion carries. We did public comment first time. business. I am going to just ask for a motion to approve 6A through 6C. 6A,
Motion.
motion by Will, seconded by Steve. All in favor? Aye. And then I'm going to ask for a motion for 6D through 6F by Kathy.
Second.
Before we do a second, I'm just gonna, I have a question, Neil, if that's all right. Okay. Just a discussion, I guess for 6D, I just, on the record, if we could just clarify what the property valuation is actually for. I think that would be a question for Tom.
Okay,
Mr. Dade.
I should have been less.
Yep.
Okay, so what CBIZ is, as part of the audit we just heard now, is they review all of our property values that we have in the district, our construction in progress, and anything of inventory that we have.
Is this for insurance purposes
It's
or?
for both. It's
Okay.
for insurance purposes, but also for financial auditing purposes.
Okay,
So see a
perfect.
report that'll tell you exactly what our buildings are worth, things along those lines.
Okay.
So that's what they do every year.
Just don't want any rumors that we're selling any land off for buildings or anything. All right,
This is an
6D.
annual approval that we do each year.
And then, okay, that was my only discussion on the motion. So a second for 6D through 6F,
Second.
second by, did you make the motion? Oh, I'm sorry, Kathy made the, okay, Kathy, it's late. Okay, Will, second, all in favor? My motion carries. A motion to approve the personnel actions report as detailed in the mailing 7A by Mary. Seconded by Steve, all in favor? Motion carries unanimously. And our special services motion to approve 8A and 8 through 8B, 8A through 8B by Kathy, seconded by Will, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Report of committees, Mr. Corona,
Sure.
high school? All right.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, so at our last meeting, we still don't have our student representatives, so a little on the shorter side. We did have quite a few presentations. We had Award of Honor presentations too. Our National Merit scholarships went out to the people who were there. We also had awards for the Build Up Club. And then we also had a presentation to a custodian at Mepham High School who actually saved the school from extensive damage. He was working in the summer. He noticed there was a fire in the kitchen, and he came in and he saved the day. So we made a presentation to him. That was very nice. The niche ratings are out. Niche ratings are an organization that rates school districts across the entire nation. And the Belmore Merrick Central High School District was rated 28th in the nation out of 11,000 school districts, and 8th in New York State out of 700. So that's very, very impressive. And that was it.
Thank you. School Community Relations PTA Council.
Hey, everybody. Ed and I were on the PTA District Council. Our PTAs continue to be awesome. So each school has the PTA, and then SEPTA is the PTA for all 3 schools. So when I say all the PTAs, I mean all 4. Red Ribbon Week for all the PTAs is the 23rd, is October 23rd through the 27th. Fall Festival is the 31st for everyone. Adventureland is the 28th, so that's a fundraiser for all the PTAs again. And PTA meetings are the 25th. Old Mill Road and Fayette are at 7 o'clock in person. Camp Avenues is 7:30, and it's virtual this month because they alternate. For Camp Avenue, their drama club registration goes through October 12th, and they're in the process of booking TP TED for November and December. Their fun run, which was supposed to be last week, but the rain is having them postpone it until the spring. And they're planning a fundraiser on November 4th, morning at the movies, but registration is very light right now, so I don't know if that's going to happen. Lots of fundraisers. Book fair, Camp's Book Fair is the 19th. Spirit Wear just ended. Last week, Mama's Cookie orders can be placed through October 17th. They're working on getting vendors for their holiday boutique at Merrick Clubhouse. They're working on their Flow Society hoodie sale and planning for a parents' night out on the 18th. So lots of great stuff. Fayette, they're planning a yoga assembly for Red Ribbon Week. The students will come down by grade level and do about 20 minutes of yoga from Leah Hortofelis. Mabel's Labels will continue throughout the year. Their outdoor movie night was a huge success. They actually are considering buying a movie theater, a movie projector, not a movie theater.
No, we are not.
Are you, Mr. Merrims?
Sorry about that. A movie projector and also a DJ set because they borrowed these things, but it worked out really well. So that's what Fayette is definitely considering, purchasing those things for their PTA. Adventureland tickets are on sale until the 19th. You can purchase tickets at the door, but you'll pay more money. It'll be $50 at the door. They're in their first phase of the Fayette Spirit Wear and Flow Society. The Flow Society shorts just ended on Sunday. Lots of great things happening. Their book fair's on the 13th. They have a pre-sale. Orders are up for Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Picture Day was a success. So lots of great things. They're in the midst of planning for the Fall Festival, and they're going to ask the teachers and get some ideas, and they just want it to be wonderful. So everyone's excited about that. Okay, Old Mill Road. They're having a BFIT assembly for Red Ribbon Week on the 24th. Their mum sale, they had it already, and shockingly, the pickup was last week when the monsoon hit, but all the mums were picked up, so that's great. Class T-shirts, that went out already. Scholastic Book Fair is this Friday, and Spirit Wear is ongoing, so lots of great things going on. K and 6th grade graduation pictures are on the 8th, and Fall Festival, of course, is on the 31st, and Reflections is due on the 13th. SEPTA, this Friday, they will be hosting 2 sessions of a partner paint a pumpkin night from 6 to 6:45 and then 7 to 7:45 at Old Mill Road. On Thursday, the October 26th, they will be hosting Spooky Bingo, Dr. Seniak's birthday, here from 6:30 to 7:30. We will be selling additional boo bags for last-minute booing. The boo bag fundraiser closed on Friday. Pickup will start, can start this week on the 12th. Spirit Wear is currently open and will remain open throughout the remainder of the week. All orders can be picked up or shipped directly to your house. So lots of great things happening with all the PTAs as usual, but especially in the beginning of the year, it's just, there's so much stuff going on. So thank God for our PTAs.
Great, thank you. We're going to defer our buildings and grounds report. Mr. Carter is at a conference. So I'm going to ask Ms. Long, do we have any communications?
No communication received.
Any unfinished business? Any new business? Public comments on anything at all? All right. So with that, I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn, and we'll see you in November. Motion by Ms. Keene, second by Mr. Luciani. All in favor? Aye. Thanks, everyone. Have a great, happy Halloween.
Have a good night.